Hi, everybody, and welcome to Pace Studio on the Road. We are here at historic Club Passim in Cambridge with Chris Smither. Chris, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah. The crowd goes wild. Man, it's great to see you out in the world. It feels good, I think, for everybody to be out and about.
Great day.
Yeah, and we're going to hear a lot of your music today. What do you feel like playing first?
Well, I'm going to go back to something that I haven't played for a while, a long time, but you know, it's a new day. It's a glorious day, a day that reeks of new beginnings and coming through bad times and going into good ones. And so here's a song about that very thing. This is called The Devil's Real. Touch me where I hardly feel that empty hole inside me, the nothing that'll ride me down into my grave. It does not heal. That nothing is a something, it can suck you dry. As a whisper you can hardly hear that tells you why. He told me you ain't got no problems, you self-deceived. These seeming contradictions, they make believe. Well, it was then that I decided my life was being guided by a second-rate dependence on first-class thieves. They told me I was breaking through, but I was breaking down. By the time I learned the difference, they had long left town. So malicious, they ain't mean, they just vaguely well-intentioned with no love I've seen. And it's the emptiness that kills you, cold comfort that'll fill you with a sense of dread that maybe things are worse than they seem. They don't tell you nothing that you don't already know. They just keep holding out the promise, but they don't let go. Don't let go. That you gave me in a dream, and it saved me. You said get a new life contract that spells out your dues. Took goodwill to find it, a clear conscience to sign it. But now I dream about the good times, they all come true. Because the devil ain't a legend, the devil's real. In that empty way he touched me where I hardly feel. In that empty hole inside me, the nothing that can ride you down into my grave. It does not heal. Nothing is a something, it'll suck you dry. As the whisper you can hardly hear that tells you why. That you gave me in a dream, and it saved me. You said get a new life contract that spells out your dues. Took goodwill to find it, a clear conscience to sign it. But now I dream about the good times, they all come true. Yeah, they all come true.
Man, this is a total pleasure, Chris. Thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure indeed.
We didn't get a chance to connect at the studio in New York, but this feels like, I mean, this is the absolute perfect setting to be connecting with you here at Passim. You clearly have history at this place, as is evidenced by your portrait hanging up on the wall. And I've been reading Eric von Schmidt's book about the folk years in the 50s, 60s, and 70s as well. Can you talk a little bit about what this club has meant to you? Maybe memorable gigs here, or just what it's meant to you through the years?
This is full of all the best ghosts in my life, this place. It was the very first place in 1966, at the end of a long sort of peregrination from where I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, up to here, this was the object of the pilgrimage. It was this room right here. And in fact, Eric von Schmidt had a great deal to do with that. He was the guy that sort of inspired me to come, and I'd met him in Florida. And I came up here, and it was the summer of '66, knocked at the door and walked in. And I got here, and I had no idea what to expect or what to see and who should be playing that night but Eric von Schmidt. And Jim Rooney was on the door. He's the other guy that wrote that book.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to give the internet a look at this. This is Baby, Let Me Follow You Down.
Yeah. And he let me in and said, yeah, you want to go see Eric? And Eric was astonished to see me, but he said, hey, man, you want to play some songs? And I was like, I thought, I'm on my way. My first night in Cambridge, I'm going to play on the stage at the Club 47. The stage was right over there on that side. And I got up and I played 3 songs, and well, it'd be nice to say the rest is history, and it is, but it wasn't as. That was the last time I played the room for 4 years or something like that. But
welcome back.
Yeah. It's wonderful. I've been here. I bet I've been on this stage 50 times.
Yeah,
maybe twice that.
This feels excellent. Feels very fitting, and I wanted to show this picture also. I mean, this book is fascinating. This has been like most of what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks is just pouring over all the pictures and all the descriptions. There's you and Taj Mahal at the Newport Folk Fest, 67
maybe.
60. That is true. Yeah, 1967. Well, man, this is
Taj Mahal, a very young Chris Smith.
Yeah. This is just a perfect environment. I'm really enjoying it, and there's a lot of music still remaining. What are you going to do second today?
Well, let's see. We're just talking about New Orleans. People always ask me, they say, Chris, what was it like? What did effect did growing up in New Orleans have on your music? And it's a very difficult question for me to answer because I'm not aware of it, and it's kind of like asking a fish what he thinks about water and how it's affected his life.
I will strike my second question off the list.
And so I wrote a song to sort of explain it, and well, not to really explain it, but how I feel about it. And this is called What I Do. Down in NOLA where we listen, some of that and some of this, and keys beyond the normal range. Everything's a little strange, but mostly it's just a place to be. You got to leave it for you see it sticks to you. I left before you did me in, down and dirty, don't begin to talk about my state of mind. All I wanted was to find a way to get between that funky and that plate cleaner too. Yeah, forget about my feelings, I don't mind, but don't forget that second line. Can't you just come out and play? Let's see what you got today. How'd you make it sound that way? I never know just what to say. It's beans and rice and sticky nights, and etouffee to keep it in the groove. It just comes out that way, won't go back in like gumbo running down your chin. The filet's just a little thin, but it's slick as glass and dark as sin, with downbeats on the upside, just to take you for a ride and make it move. Oh, I see, they say. Well, no wonder. It's a miracle. You ain't 6 feet under. Well, fish don't understand the water. They just do the things they oughta. Birds don't understand the air. They don't even know it's there. They don't have a clue. But just like me, they do the things they do. It's what I do. It's what I do. It's what I do.
I should have said so before we started the session, but I'm going to wait until that chord rings out all the way and then start clapping.
That's okay. I'll damp it so you can clap faster.
Man, that is a wonderful song. I told you before offline that I've been listening to both of the Levy records, more from the Levy, which that song's from, and the earlier Levy record as well. And I mean, really, your entire catalog. I've been on a Smither kick. Andrew and I were on a Smither kick last night, and so I'm wondering about the way that you make records. I know you collaborate with Alan Toussaint, with Loudon Wainwright down there, and you record up here in Boston as well. But the 2009 record, Time Stands Still, that's one of my favorites, and I know it's like this stripped down production. It's a very straightforward record. The question is, I'm wondering where your head is at in terms of the next project you do. Do you imagine like a lusher, more instrumentation, a lot of production stuff, or is your head more in the stripped down space these days?
I don't. It's more stripped down. I think is the next one. I've got about 5 songs in the works. And when I get another 3 of them going, that's when I start thinking, okay, time to book a studio like 9 months from now, and then we'll be ready to go in. But I think, one of the things that influenced the decision is the way More from the Levee came out, because, that was a project that we'd put those tracks down almost 6 years ago. And in a sense, we thought of them as being unfinished because we didn't put them on the initial release of Still on the Levee, and then I went back and I listened to them, and David Goodrich, my producer, listened to them, and they sounded so good, with some of them with just drums and guitar, and we both were starting to think, this is something we should aim for, this ultimate simplicity. The ultimate simplicity, of course, would be just the way you see me today, but...
Which sounds tremendous. I mean, we've got a good crowd right now. People on the internet are having a great time. I'm having a great time in this room.
And so, I think I'm gonna head that way with just some little hints of things. I don't really want, I'm getting on in years. I don't want to deal with a whole lot of weight, behind me. I just I think it'd be kind of fun, and my fans. I feel responsible to my fans, and they're always telling me. They always say, "Chris, we love the live records. We love the simpler, the better." And of course, you have to balance that against the desire to hear yourself big, But of course, one of the reasons you always want to hear yourself big is to get radio play, and that's an old school way of thinking. That doesn't really apply these days. if the music's good, it's going to get out. I mean, there's just so many avenues of access for people to find your music and play it. And if it's good, you know, they're going to listen to it. And if it's not, they won't, you know. And so basically, you should. The lesson to be learned from that is you should do what feels right to you.
Nice. Well, I know I've said it before. I'm going to try to stop myself from gushing too much, but this was a room full of big fans, and I'm going to keep on listening to those records, and I'll stay tuned very much for when those 5 songs become 8 songs and the next record comes out. Man, I will consume that one just as delightfully as I've consumed the last record. So, thank you for being here. And what do you think? What do you feel like playing third today?
Well, I'm sorry, say that again? What do I...
What do you feel like playing next?
Third. I thought you said Thursday. Thursday? This is Thursday. This is just a song. I play this song very often, but I just enjoy playing it so much. I wrote a sweet little song a few years ago, and I loved it so much. It was about my daughter. And I called my wife up. I said, "Here, play this. You know, listen to this." And I played it for her, and she said, "Oh, that's nice." You know. And she started to walk away. And I said, "What? That's all you got to say?" And she says, "Well." And she looked at me and she says, "How come I never get any bad boy songs anymore?" So I was reluctant to admit that I might not be a bad boy anymore. So I thought I would write a bad boy song, and this is it. This is called. Don't Call Me Stranger. Come with me, I'll guarantee you the best time you ever had. Ain't no hurry, don't you worry. I'm just bad. Do you have a taste for danger? It suits me if you do. Come on, baby, don't call me stranger. I'm just like you. If you listen to your mama, you won't never have no fun. I ain't denying, yeah, she's been trying, oh, but she can't see how it's done. Those little shivers are the flavor of everything she don't understand. Come on, baby, do yourself a favor, take my hand. affection. I'm your cure. 'Cause if you get no might have been. Let's step out now, cool and steady. Keep your head up, don't be shy. Come on, baby, I think you're ready. So am I. Yes, I think you're ready. So am I.
All right, thank you, Chris. Can we talk about the guitar that you're playing today? Is that
Sure.
is that like your one and only, your very favorite instrument at the moment? Was
It is
the one
my
that you
favorite.
grabbed today?
It's been my favorite for quite a while. So much so that I have two of them. I had them build me another one. This is the folks down at Collings built this, and the new one. It's 12 fret as opposed to 14 to the body, where the body joins the neck is 12 frets like a classical guitar, but not with an open headstock. It's got the speed head, well, the standard sort of American flat top speed head on it, and a short scale. In the old days, I used to often play like tuned down a little bit and then with a capo on the second fret because of what it did for the action and just the way it felt. And then I discovered that with a 12 fret short scale, you get exactly the same thing, and you don't have to bother with the capo. The people at Collings they make glorious guitars. I mean, I hate to sound like a commercial, but this is the nicest guitar.
No, it's a thing you love. I mean, I wanted to know. I'm not familiar with those guys. Are they around here, or do you
Austin,
travel?
Texas.
In Austin, okay.
Austin, Texas, and they, they just do it right, and they've been very good to me, I mean, you can tell it's a little bit beat up. And I remember one time I was reluctant. They wanted to take a look at it. I think they used it in a picture for an ad or something. And I said I was a little reluctant for them to see it in the sort of shape because I played it so hard and it gets beaten up. And they assured me, they said, no, Bill loves that. Bill Collings was the man who, he's not with us anymore, but he started the company. And he loves that. He says he loves to see the guitars, his guitars that have been through the mill and are still in there churning it out. So, it does not have a name, this guitar. I refuse to name my guitars because, in my experience, it's a good way to get them stolen. But it's, I do love it.
Yeah, well, it sounds beautiful. Same question about the particle board. Is there a particular? Is it like any old piece will do it and give the Chris Smither tone, or is that your particle board? Is that
this
is
is
that your
my
favorite?
particle board? Most particle board works pretty well. I use particle board instead of sort of real wood, natural grown wood, because particle board has no inherent tone of its own. It doesn't project a note. It's just sort of a percussive noise, and I don't want to have to tune my board, Yeah. or if I switch keys, do I have to get a new board in? It's just, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I've tapped my foot all my life, and it dawned on me halfway through my career that I realized that the nights that I had enjoyed myself, that I didn't play very well, I was playing on a carpeted floor, and I couldn't hear myself, and nobody else could hear me either. And the funny thing is that the foot tapping works its way into the arrangement in a way. It becomes part of it, and so when it's gone, there's things missing. There's big holes in the arrangement. It's a funny thing, but I'm attached to it.
Yeah, well, it sounds wonderful in the room. I cannot wait to hear Andrew's mix that's going out to the internet right now. I have no doubt it sounds tremendous. But this is, again, a total pleasure to have you here in the studio today. And you're going to play one more song today. What's coming up last?
This is
You know, I started off, when I started doing this, I was mainly doing covers of old blues things, you know, country blues, and it's still a great passion of mine. And when I'm in songwriting mode, or when I have to get songs written, one of the easiest things to get me started, even if the song doesn't come out very well, is to sort of say, okay, just write a blues, you know, come up with some standard little blues progression and write a blues song, you know, and you'll be fine. And that's how this song came about, but it's actually turned into one of my favorites. And it's called What It Might Have Been. I know you know what you got to do, knowing it, showing it is a part of it. I got a clue, it ain't what I know that made me blue. It's what I thought I knew. I lost a lot of things before you came. I know that losing, yeah, that's just part of the game. I'm sure I'll lose more, but all the same, it ain't what I lost that made me sad. It's what I thought I had. Yeah, you know it is what it is. Just let it go. It ain't what it was, that's for sure. Things will be what they'll be in spite of me or you, even though it ain't what it is. It's such a sin. It's what it might have been. Things will be what they'll be in spite of me or you, even though it ain't what it is. It's such a sin. It's what it might have been.
Chris, man, what a wonderful way to start the day. Thanks for coming and doing this. We really, really appreciate it very much.
It's been a pleasure.
And,
thank you for getting me out of the house.
Yeah, of course. You mentioned there's about 5 songs that are brewing right now, and as soon as there's more, then it's studio time. Do you have any inkling about when that might be? Can you tell people what might be coming up next, or is that...
I'm hoping that, you know, that we'll have something to show you in a year.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will stay tuned. Thanks again for doing this, man. This has been great.
You bet.